Shanley Deacons prepare to take on the Sheyenne Mustangs. Well, folks, we got a great game in store for you here tonight between two EDC foes, and we'll have all that soccer action coming up for you right after a word from our sponsors.
This broadcast is presented by American Family Insurance, Ken Craft Agency, Bell Bank, Butler Machinery Company, the Fargo Jet Center, First International Bank and Trust, Form Communications, Luther Family Buick GMC, Master Construction, Moore Engineering, Netrix IT, Northern Improvement Company, Off the Wall Advertising, Robert Gibb and Sons, Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, Shields All Sports in Fargo, and TCI Insurance.
Good evening, folks, and welcome back to North Dakota High School Boys Soccer Action. I'm Jed Thomas, of course, joined by Josh Johnson for what should be a great game here between the West Fargo Sheyenne Mustangs and the Shanley Deacons. And for more on tonight's matchup, here's Josh Johnson. Josh?
Hey, Jed. What we're looking at with these two teams are two teams both with the same-ish record, both going into this game looking to make some major improvements, but at the same time build off their previous successes.
Absolutely. You know, when you talk about same record there, we're looking at a very early stage in the season. Both teams have only played 3 conference games so far. The Shanley Deacons are 1-1-1, so 1 win, 1 loss, and 1 tie. And the West Fargo Mustangs, 1 win, no losses, and 2 ties. So very similar records, a lot of common opponents. Both teams defeated Grand Forks Central. Both teams tied Fargo South. So really not a lot separating these two squads here tonight.
Very much, Jed, which is why I'm looking at very much the things like the effort and the hustle to come into play, especially late in the game. Soccer, very much a game of endurance, often factors in towards the end which team has been pushing themselves hardest during practice and is willing to make those plays at the end.
Absolutely. In close games like what we expect this one to be, it's oftentimes the intangibles, not necessarily the things you see on the surface that really make a big impact. You know, it comes down to everything, including weather. And if you look out on the field right now, maybe you can't see from your view, but we're looking at flags in the corners of the field that are really whipping in the wind. That's a wind moving from the south to the north, so one side of the field definitely going to be at an advantage, at least for one half tonight.
Very much so. We'll see how that factors in, especially when things like corner kicks come into play. We'll see which team can play their possessions better, keeping control, and also being able to get shots on goal.
Absolutely. It looks like Shanley will be playing into the wind to start things off, so we'll see how that impacts their game. As we said, weather and wind especially often plays a very big role in soccer, sends a lot of kicks in directions you don't necessarily intend for them to go, and also, if you're playing on the right side of the field, can give you a lot more power behind the kick. So it'll be interesting to see what separates these two very evenly matched squads tonight as we wait for both teams to take the field now. As we wait for these two teams to come out and start this game off, we'll take a quick minute to remind you, don't forget that you can connect with Shanley TV on social media, get the latest updates about Shanley sports teams, plus reminders about upcoming broadcasts. Like our Facebook page today at facebook.com/ShanleyTV, follow us on Twitter at ShanleyTV, and follow us on Instagram once again at ShanleyTV. Couple of platforms there you can interact with us on. Be sure to check those out. The best way to see upcoming broadcasts. All right, so both teams take the field, getting ready to start things off. It is TJ Anderson up there on the ball for the Deacons right now. Look out for him. He's got lethal speed, can really break a game open.
Very much a reason why he was made a captain of this Shanley squad. He's an elite player and also an elite leader.
All right, and with that whistle, we're underway as Miguel Hansen dribbles that one back to Johnny Dietz. The defender for the Deacons has been off to a nice start this year. Jordan Peterson on the near side couldn't quite corral that ball, and a nice steal there from Dunar sets the Mustangs up with possession.
Hard for Shanley to lose possession like that early in the game.
Absolutely. And now look at this, a breakaway opportunity. Bounces off the hands of Malish. Rebound shot just wide. Oh, it looked like money, but that shot goes just left of the net, and what a costly mistake, almost costly early on for the Deacons.
I don't know. The Shanley Deacons defense, they're looking very shaky. Lost the possession very quickly on a mistake, and then just let that shot through.
That was Hussein Muhammad who just about put that one in for the Mustangs. One thing to remember, though, folks, for those of you who tuned into Shanley versus West Fargo a little while ago, the Deacons also had a very shaky start, had a play similar to that one, a broken play, and were able to salvage that. So we've seen Shanley able to overcome adversity like that in the past, no doubt, as that ball is brought out of bounds by Gideon Kameu.
Nice change of position on the field. Shanley now much more in an attacking position.
Absolutely. Owen Mears looking to throw this ball in for the Deacons. He finds Odegaard on the near side. Odegaard has that ball poked away, though, by Smith, and the Mustangs look to clear. That ball hit by Mickelson and brought forward. The Deacons once again try to set up. It was Nellermo there, but the Cheyenne defense holds strong as they once again try to clear.
Shanley takes possession, pass him back and forth, just trying to expose holes in the Cheyenne defense.
Absolutely. Both teams trying to feel each other out early on here as Odegaard wheels that one around and gives off to Mickelson. Mickelson on the far side tried to make a run, didn't have space, but he found Anderson. Anderson looks for a man. He shoved off the ball, able to maintain possession, though, and now he's got Peterson. Peterson with a nice little pass over to Bush. Bush, though, couldn't quite get it under control. He wanted a handball, but he won't get it as the Mustangs bring the ball into the offensive zone.
Offensively, that was very impressive by Shanley. While they didn't get a shot on goal, they were able to bring the ball into the middle, right around that 10-yard mark. Very impressive.
Cody Malish gives that one a kick up to Joe Mickelson, and the ball rolls out of bounds off the Deacons, setting the Mustangs up with solid field position. Quick throw in here for the Stangs. Just kind of moving the ball around at midfield. Not many places to go with it, I should say. Shanley defense looking strong here at midfield as Odegaard goes down fighting for that one. However, Cheyenne will maintain possession after a nice play from Rigg. On the far side, it's Muhammad. He has Noah on top of him. Mustangs trying to set up right in front of the net, but that kick will go out of bounds behind the Shanley goal.
Interesting to see. That's the second time that Cheyenne has been in behind the Shanley's defense. While the first time was just kind of a mistake on Shanley's part, and that second time didn't amount to too much. We'll have to see how that progresses throughout the game.
Absolutely. Long kick here from Malish. Immediately grabbed by Dennis. Dennis looking for a man. He thought he had Dunar there, but it was nicely broken up by Dietz and Peterson. Dietz now trying to thread the needle up to TJ Anderson. Anderson had a jump on his man, but it's a nice breakup from Dennis. However, the Deacons will maintain possession with 36:25 to go here in the first half. TJ Anderson on the throw-in, looking for a man. He just gives it safely over to Bush. Bush goes back to Anderson. Anderson looking for a man, has a lot of Mustangs around him, finds Bush. Bush now in the middle of the field, trying to get that through ball over to the opposite side of the field to Nellermo. Nellermo tied up with a Mustang defender, and that ball is sent out of bounds by Negron.
Good clear by Cheyenne. Sometimes that's just the best thing that you can do, just kick it out of bounds.
Absolutely. Quick throw-in intended for Odegaard, punched forward by a Mustang defender. Mears gets the header forward, but now a whistle will give that ball to the Deacons.
An early opportunity for Shanley right here to make something of this free kick. When you get a free kick this close, it's a very good chance to score.
All right, it looks to be either Bush or Anderson who will take the kick. They appear to be mapping out a bit of a game plan over there, having a conference by the ball. Not quite sure what they're cooking up here. We'll see what they have in store for us, though, as it will be Anderson to kick it, and Bush will take Anderson's orders back to his teammates. Anderson loads up, sends it low on the ground to Hansen. Hansen with a little chip forward, and Nellermo into the back of the net. And a goal for the Deacons early on. I'm not sure what happened there. Let's see if we can get a replay. Not a big reaction from the crowd because I don't know if anyone knew what happened. It looks like maybe Nellermo got his foot on it. I think he was the last guy to touch it, but I am not sure about that. We'll wait and see if we can hear the official call. Nonetheless, though, what a fantastic start for Shanley.
Very much so. You know, often with those free kicks, you often get them try to kick it into the air, get a header, try to punch it in that way. Shanley, a little bit of trickery and hitting it on the ground.
Well, you know, we saw TJ Anderson and Max Bush have a long conference by that ball discussing what they wanted to do with it. And, you know, it took a little while to figure out their game plan, but boy, that strategy worked well for them as they get the quick goal off that.
Exactly. A goal this early in the game just really sets the mindset for your team. You're able to be a little bit more aggressive now as you know that you got that extra point lead.
For sure, that goal absolutely setting the tone going forward in this game. It is early yet, however, 34 minutes alone left in this first half. Sheyenne, plenty of time to respond and then some. Lining up for this kick is Melvin Dennis for the Mustangs, sophomore defender. Sends it down straight into the middle of the field, and the easy header for Mears is found by Negron on the far side, and now Odegaard will punch it forward. Nellermo, the man who just had the goal, will send that ball out of bounds to give his team a breather. Steelgis with the quick throw into Black. Black goes back to Steelgis, and then that ball sent past TJ Anderson as the Sheyenne defense tries to move it around. It's Dennis on the near side looking, trying to find a man. It looked for a second like he might have Muhammad streaking up the middle of the field, but that ball was nicely kept away by Luke Noah as Black almost has this one stripped, but that ball is saved by Rigg.
You know, Jed, from what I've seen so far, we haven't seen too much consistent possession by Sheyenne with being able to move the ball downfield in short, consistent passes. That doesn't bode the best for them later in the game.
Absolutely, Shanley doing a good job disrupting those passes for Sheyenne. As you saw, Jordan Peterson just punched that one out a little bit ago, and now the Deacons take possession after another nice defensive play. Luke Noah looking for TJ Anderson, could not find him though. It was nicely broken up by Fenelon. Fenelon on the near side now gives that ball off over to Dunar. Dunar looking for Muhammad up the middle. That's a play they've been trying to set up for a while, but once again, they cannot get it to go as Jordan Peterson tries to get around Fenelon. Fenelon did a nice job keeping it in, but Johnny Dietz got it up to Odegaard, and now Odegaard goes to Mears, who's looking for Anderson. Anderson with the little chip back to Odegaard, but sacrificing the body there is Rigg to keep it in play. And now look at this, an opportunity for the Mustangs. Dunar has Noah closing in on him and just cannot catch up to that ball fast enough to make something happen. Johnny Dietz in a bit of trouble. That's some nice play there from Patrick Smith, and now Dietz is going to have to try to find another way around as he's able to get that ball up to Owen Mears. Mears has that ball blocked. Mustangs really going all out here trying to keep this ball from crossing midfield. Dennis and Mears tied up there as that ball goes out of bounds off Mears.
Very much so. You see Sheyenne controlling the midfield, but Shanley is just not allowing them past that.
Absolutely, ball stuck in a little bit of limbo here. Neither side really breaking through, but now the Mustangs have a look. It was a really nice play set up there that just did not quite go off the way the Mustangs intended, and now a fantastic tackle from Dennis will get that ball over to Dunal. A nice look, but that ball off target. Dunar just not quite on the money with that shot. Pretty far to the right, but good to see Sheyenne generating some offense early. They could use it. Nellermo on the far side has that ball stripped, able to catch back up to it, though. In a dogfight on the far side with Negron. Once again, the Deacons having trouble crossing midfield with it as it goes out of bounds off of Sheyenne. Joe Mickelson on the quick throw-in. He has Odegaard, but a very strong defensive play from Steelgis keeps that from developing any further. Another quick throw-in from Mickelson. This time it's to TJ Anderson, and he's able to maintain possession. Now he's got Bush streaking upfield, and oh, Bush was close to it, but it's a nice save from Zachary Douglas, and the collision between Bush and Douglas will not amount to anything, I believe. However, the referee will have a quick chat with Max Bush there.
Always trying to protect the goal in this game. A very vulnerable position. Obviously, Max's move wasn't intentional by any means, but you always got to make sure that the goalie's protected.
No doubt, ref just doing his job there, making sure everyone knows the do's and don'ts when you're in a situation like that. It's Dennis to throw it in on the near side. Has a man. It's Dunar. Dunar tied up very nicely by Peterson, but he somehow slipped both Peterson and Mears. Now has a little bit of space as he goes down, and that is a rough collision there with Max Bush. Bush a little slow to get up there, and it looks like he will have to sub out and have that looked at. He is jogging off the field, though, under his own power. Hopefully nothing more than a little bump. So checking in for the Deacons is Evan Reinholtz, the younger brother of the prolific scorer for the Deacons from last year, Jake Reinholtz.
For Max Bush is number 21. Welcome to the pitch, Evan Reinholtz.
Here to kick this one for the Mustangs is Rigg. Good opportunity here for Sheyenne as Rigg keeps it low on the ground, much like the Deacons did on their goal. However, that ball is a little too far to the left, and Cody Malish able to get on top of it.
Malish, you gotta wonder how his hands are doing right now. Been fumbling with the ball a little bit early in this game. Hopefully he can get his hands back.
Right, hopefully for the Deacons, just an early kink that can be ironed out. Shanley doesn't really have one true set starter in goal. We've seen Cody Malish and Cam Hoff have some time in net. Neither has really taken that starting position yet. We'll see how that develops further down along the line. TJ Anderson showing off some beautiful moves there, but the through ball could not find its way to Jordan Peterson, and now the Mustangs look to advance out of their own end. Peterson got a piece of that pass, but could not block it all the way, and now Black has it at midfield, but it's poked away by Hansen. Smith going to give back to Fenelon. Fenelon upfield, intercepted by Reinholtz. Reinholtz battling now with Rigg. Ball punched forward by Nellermo. A nice play to generate some offense, but it won't amount to anything there as it goes out of bounds, I believe, off of the Mustangs. So that does appear to be the case, and I think we'll have a corner kick.
Again for Shanley. Another good opportunity to score early in the game. Pad their lead even a little bit more.
29:05 left on the clock here in the first half. It will be a corner kick for Shanley. Jordan Peterson will take it. Peterson with a lower kick there, bounced in the air by the Sheyenne defense, and then a header from Reinholtz is sent over the net by Odegaard.
Unfortunately, we're not playing American football right now, so that does not count for 3 points, Jed, but even still, impressive possession.
I suppose so. Odegaard, though, definitely wishing that ball had gone a little lower. Douglas lines up for this one as the wind at his back and is able to get some good distance behind it. Caught up at midfield. No one's got it yet. It's Peterson who takes it for the Deacons and then finds Anderson. Anderson with a little move trying to evade the Sheyenne D here as Dietz brings it forward. Dietz tripped up, though, and there'll be a whistle on Hussein Muhammad.
As you're seeing, the Sheyenne offense has been showing a little bit of speed throughout this game. You got to make that wonder. They've already gotten behind the Shanley defense twice. Will it happen a third time because of that speed?
Absolutely. Shanley definitely has to respect this Sheyenne offense. We've seen a couple of flashes here, especially from Hussein Muhammad. They have tried to set up the same play to him at least 2 or 3 times with him streaking up the middle. And on about 2 of those times, he has been all alone, able to get past the Shanley defense. It's just been the passes that haven't quite found him. So Shanley really does need to watch Hussein Muhammad up there for West Fargo. And just overall, they need to stay at home on D. They can't get too caught up trying to pad the lead. Long kick here, a high one, too, goes past the 50-yard line as the Deacons move the ball around in their own zone, trying to get possession. That ball poked away, though, by Muhammad. He retreats, looks for a man to give it off to. Mustangs, again, just moving the ball around, trying to set something up. That pass, a nice one on the money for Dennis. Dennis then finds a man on the near side. And now look at this. The Mustangs have an opportunity, but it's played nicely on D by Johnny Dietz. Dennis intercepts that pass, though, from Peterson, and Sheyenne continues to pressure. Pass intended for Muhammad goes over the head of Nellermo, and I believe that will be offsides as the Deacons get possession. 26:42 on the clock. Shanley again holds a 1-0 lead thanks to a very early goal from Nellermo. Luke Noah Loads up to kick this one. He's kicking into the wind here. We'll see what he can do. Keeping it low. That's a good strategy on a windy day. And wow, he got a lot behind that one as it falls down at the 30. The Mustangs, though, not letting Shanley do anything with it as they advance it past midfield and now look to get into the Deacon zone. Good pressure there from Odegaard. Forces Rig to go backwards with it. Mustangs continue to just volley around looking for an opening. Pass looked to be intended for Black or Muhammad there, but it was Joe Mickelson there to break it up for Shanley, and now Odegaard trying to bring it forward, not finding much room. Nellermo attempting to do the same thing, but again, Cheyenne closes the door on that far side. TJ Anderson with a nice little move. He brings it to midfield now, taking a look. Nothing there, though. Hansen steps up. He'll try to advance this one. And again, the Cheyenne D holds strong as Dumar poked that one away. Dietz knocks this ball down, looking for Peterson on that play. Couldn't quite find him. Ball knocked up into the air, I believe incidentally, by a Cheyenne player there, and now we've got a whistle. And I'm not sure what that was for.
I think it might have been a handball, Jed.
All right, well, that would seem to be a likely case, so we'll go with that for now as Mears goes down, and there'll be a quick whistle here against Dunar. So a couple of whistles going against Cheyenne early on in this game, something to watch. Mears boots this one downfield, has Nellermo chasing it. Nellermo in a battle, unable to get possession, although he will find it now and give it off to Odegaard. Nice job by Nellermo not quitting on that ball. Odegaard, though, in a bit of trouble. He's facing intense pressure there from Nagron, who's able to punch it out of bounds.
Again, we're still seeing both teams not really being able to find a footing in the other team's goalie box.
Absolutely. Shanley, since the beginning, really hasn't had too much offensive success, although they are trying to pressure now as another whistle goes against the Mustangs. They're playing a physical brand of soccer out there, and right now it's costing them a little bit. They're getting a lot of calls against them here. Refs clearly calling this game pretty tight. TJ Anderson will kick this one. We saw what happened last time he got a kick in this zone. This time he goes a little higher with it, and it's an easy grab for Zach Douglas.
Impressive job by Douglas there. Often it's an interesting time trying to get in between all those players and making that grab.
No doubt a bit of a risky play. Not sure if that ball will change directions at the last second, maybe end up behind you, but Douglas able to snatch it up in the air. Muhammad streaking forward again for the Mustangs, and he's caught offsides. And boy, he has had a lot of close calls here, especially that one really early on in the game, just about a minute into it. It looked like he had a sure thing headed into the back of the net, but was unable to convert. You can tell, though, Hussein Muhammad, if Shanley doesn't get a hold of him here soon, he's eventually going to break one of these for a goal. You just know it's coming if they continue to let him get past.
You know that's right, Jed. But then at the same time, sometimes people can outclass other people in speed by so much that they're just not used to playing that, and so offsides can become a difficult thing to judge for them, creating those calls like that.
For sure. Sometimes your own speed can be so great it makes it difficult for your teammates to handle, and perhaps that's what we've seen here with Hussein Muhammad. 22:53 remain in this first half. Still a 1-0 lead for the Deacons as that ball goes out of bounds off Shanley.
And now some substitutions coming in onto the pitch for your Mustang number 19, Sam Kramer.
And in for the Mustangs, Sam Kramer along with Romeo Magar.
And now in for your Deacons, welcome to the
Mustangs attempting to clear here. It's Dennis who has control. He goes back to Fenelon, and Fenolin's ball ends up out of bounds, so a good opportunity now for Shanley, as it will be Dietz to throw it in. Dietz's throw-in finds Anderson. Anderson, though, finds himself with two defenders on top of him, and now Johnny Dietz is going to have to chase down that long pass. He's stuck along the out-of-bounds line, and that will roll out.
Also interesting to see, Max Bush is also back in for the Deacons. Hopefully he can provide a little spark for them, help them gain some greater possession, get a good shot on goal.
Absolutely a good thing to see if you're a Deacon fan. Max Bush, a huge part of this team, the senior midfielder. Mustangs right now just trying to get it out of their zone, and that pass intended for McGarr had too much behind it and went out of bounds, so it's Joe Mickelson throwing it in here. It's a quick throw in to Dietz. Dietz, though, had McGarr right on top of him, and a strong defensive play from Romeo McGarr, seeing his first action of the game. Mears on the throw-in. He tries to go a little further away from the sideline this time, and once again, Cheyenne right there to shut it down as Muhammad goes back to his defender. That time it's Steele just to punch it forward, although that's returned right in his face. Steele just puts it high this time, and that finds the head of Max Bush. But the ball does end up with Dunar. Dunar bringing it forward for the Mustangs. Has a man. It's McGarr. He's chasing it down. McGarr showing some good speed there, but just not quite enough to catch up to that pass that rolls out of bounds. So another good opportunity it looked like was coming for Cheyenne, but they were just unable to capitalize. As the Deacons now try to bring this ball back downfield, it's TJ Anderson chasing that pass. Anderson wheels back, has a man, it's Dietz. Dietz retreats, looks for someone to give it off to. Odegaard couldn't get there. And now the Mustangs take possession in their own zone. Luke Noah intercepts, though, and now Noah going to bring it forward with no one on him. The shot just off the crossbar. Luke Noah, though, what a play from the defensive position. Wow.
Wow, that was gutsy, Jed. Let me tell you, Luke Noah, the center of the Shanley defense, able to make the interception. And what's more, he doesn't just pass it off. He feels confident taking that shot. That is the play of an experienced player. He knows that he has the ball and a good opportunity to make a shot on goal.
Absolutely. On the replay there, you could see he was just a little high with it. He drove it right down the throats of the Mustang defense, though, and like you said, Josh, gutsy play. Smith on the near side with it. He has a man. That time it's Rigg. And now that ball is going to go out of bounds. It was a nice effort there from Steele just to catch up to it, but it just had a little too much on it. 19:39 left on the clock as the Deacons throw in here. It's TJ Anderson with it. Anderson has an assist in this game from the Nellermo goal. He's looking for a goal of his own, though. You know, TJ Anderson with a lot of offensive potential. Jordan Peterson with a nice effort to catch up to that ball. He just could not get there in time as Malish comes out to grab it. And that was close. Sam Kramer was chasing that ball down, but Cody Malish able to get there first.
One of those plays as a goalie that it just takes game experience to be able to judge whether the ball is going to be coming fast enough for you to be able to run up and grab it, or if the opposing player is going to get to it first.
Long pass finds Dunar, but it took a funny bounce on him. Able to keep it in, though. Dunar working on Dietz. Peterson comes in to help Dietz out. Now Dunar has some space. Look at this. That ball chipped a little bit away from him, and the Deacons appear to avert disaster there. Cheyenne, though, pressuring intensely, and that was close. Dunar has been making things happen all night long, but that was arguably his best look of the night.
I've been impressed so far by Dunar's footwork. He's got quick feet and great speed, able to make defenders just go crazy.
Absolutely. Dunar, though, appears to be a bit more of a setup guy, it seems, because he's always looking for his fellow forward to give it off to. A lot of the time you see Dunar with the footwork and then Muhammad in there trying to close things up and get the goal. That time, though, Dunar looked like he was going to do it all himself. Just came up a little short. Nice move with the ball there by Patrick Smith over to Dennis. That was a tremendous little pass there. Dennis's pass, though, unable to get to Dunar, and this ball is sent right back down into the Cheyenne zone. Dennis finds it once again, gives over to Smith. Smith caught up with Mears. Mears with a nice play over to Anderson. TJ Anderson in a bit of trouble on the near side, able to work his way out of it, though. Physical play with Smith, and Anderson goes down on the shove late. There was a whistle, and I think it will go against Cheyenne, as Smith does not look too happy with that call. It was close. Both Smith and Anderson were going at it.
Anderson, very much a leader for the Shanley team and a very good player. Cheyenne playing him very tightly, trying to throw him off his game and keep him contained. It's going to get physical down there.
Absolutely. Last year, you know, Anderson was a bit more of a secondary weapon behind Jake Reinholtz, but this year it's really up to him to step up and fill some of that void that was left. Dietz able to keep that one in play and able to keep it out of bounds, but it is taken away beautifully by Romeo McGarr. A tremendous play to steal that ball. And now look at this, an opportunity. Dunar with space, and you don't want to give him that. Dunar has Noah in front of him. He's going to try to get away, fires one, and that is way far right. Dunar again showing some potential there, but punched it out to the right. And once again, a big rush there for Sheyenne does not amount to points.
Again, that's really the only sustainable offense, or not sustainable, but the only offense that Sheyenne has had this game so far are those big rushes and trying to get behind Shanley's defense very quickly. We'll see if they're able to pull it off one of these times.
Right, and I think a big difference on offense between these two teams has been, Cheyenne has had a lot of good looks on those fast breaks, those big rushes into the zone, but they just have not been able to hold the ball in the Shanley zone and put sustained pressure on the Deacons. When you're able to hold possession in your opponent's zone for a long time, it really wears them out. Shanley hasn't had a ton of success doing that, although they have done a better job than Sheyenne, and I do think that's been a pretty big difference early on.
And, Jed, I also think that with Shanley's ability to hold it a little bit longer, it also creates things like corner kicks and free kicks down where you need it, which ended up leading to Shanley's goal.
Absolutely. You just keep that ball in the offensive zone, and eventually good things will happen. We'll see now if Sheyenne can put this ball in the zone and then keep it there. That would be big for them here in the middle of the first half, 15:25 remaining. Kick deep into the Shanley zone, but kept forward by Luke Noah. A couple of headers, and it's Noah able to punch it forward. Mears with the little assist to get it up to Anderson. Anderson now has a seam, and he'll throw it forward, hoping Odegaard was there, but he was not. Ball too far in front for him. And now Odegaard is going to try to pressure in the Cheyenne zone.
Always got to be careful on those counterattacks. Sheyenne had it played beautifully, making sure that they had enough guys back to hold it off. But on those free kicks, when you're sending it down into the goal, the temptation is usually to put as many guys as you can down there and hope you get the goal. But you always got to watch out for that counterattack.
Easy save there from Douglas after a little shot there from Reinholtz just to keep him on his toes. The Mustangs now look to advance it, and they've got a little bit of space here with Negron on the near side. Negron going over to Dennis. He's got Mears closing in fast, though. Got to do something with it. Dennis going to try to center this ball out in front. It's headed forward nicely, though, by Joe Mickelson. And now Evan Reinholtz will go over to Odegaard to try to get the clear. That ball going to bounce behind Odegaard, and Dietz will send it forward looking for Reinholtz. It was intercepted, though, as the Mustangs try to put the pressure on. A man went down for Sheyenne. That was Aberly. And now a scrum in the middle as Aberly is able to take it away, looking for McGar, though. That ball has too much behind it. Mickelson directs traffic and throws it upfield, looking for Dietz. Dietz could not get it past the midfield of Cheyenne, though, and the Mustangs once again put it back in the Deacon zone. It's Luke Noah with the ball. He goes over to Jorgen Dietz. Dietz just going to keep this one low on the ground over to Reinholtz. Evan Reinholtz on the near side, able to get away from Smith, showing nice speed there. TJ Anderson has it now, and he gets bounced back. Maybe looking for a call there, but he won't get it. Ball bounces high in the air over the head of Dietz, and the battle for that ball looks to be won nicely by Steelgist. Steelgist did a great job keeping that one away from Dietz, and now McGar has it as he tries to cross midfield with it. McGar got a little chip pass from Aberly, but that was sent back in by Mickelson. Steelgist couldn't do anything with it. The Mustangs caught up in their own zone, but now they're able to break free. Loose ball, no one there. It's ultimately grabbed by Dunar. On the near side with it is Negron, as the Mustangs try to put the pressure on. Negron has it once again, and then from a bad angle just has to take a shot. Couldn't do anything with it, but I do think we're starting to see a little more success on offense here for Cheyenne.
Very much so. A very positive sign for them. As you see, they've been switching up players in a little bit of positions and everything, just trying to make that change to where they can get that sustainable offense and get those good shots on goal.
So making a little progress, but as of yet, can't really keep it in, although they are doing a better job, as we said. Ball chipped forward, just doing due diligence there is Rigg, keeping this Deacon defense on their toes. Deacons, meanwhile, trying to get something going on offense as TJ Anderson has it. He has to fall back and look for someone to give it off to, though. Anderson caught in the battle for it. He went down, likely wanting a call there, but he did not get it. Hansen going to try to go back to Anderson. Anderson now just sits with it. McGar was closing in, but he circled back to cover Mickelson. Mickelson's ball was intended for Odegaard, but did not find its way there. And then Bush is going to be whistled for some contact there. The Deacons not loving that call. Bush, you can see, not a big fan, but I think it's a good job there by the referees to just kind of even out the way this game has been called. You know, early on, I think we saw a few more calls on Cheyenne. Shanley, there were a couple toss-ups that probably went the way of Cheyenne, and now I just think we see the referees evening things out, as you so often see in sports.
Well, even more so in soccer, it's especially tough to try to make these calls. Everything is a judgment call. Almost everything is a judgment call in this sport. And so when you get guys who are consistently pushing and shoving each other around, trying to fight for a ball, you know, it looks different as the game progresses.
Well said, as Bush just sends this one downfield. Was whistled before he kicked it, though. And now Bush having a conference with the referee here. A little bit before that, you saw him go down wanting a call. And Bush has been in active discussions with the referees tonight. He's been playing a physical game, and often that is a side effect of playing that physical game. You find yourself talking to the refs, whether you're asking for a call or arguing a call. You're definitely going to have a lot of dialogue with the officials.
You'll definitely have to be careful, though. Already obtaining one yellow card, another thing could push the refs over the edge.
Absolutely. Riggs' shot there, maybe intended to be a pass. I think likely a pass that was carried by the wind right into the arms of Malish, so the Deacons come away unscathed. Dietz couldn't track that ball down, but Mickelson is there to push it forward. He was looking for Odegaard, although it was Hansen who got there first. Dietz able to find Anderson. Anderson with a nice move to get some space. He'll chip it forward looking for Bush. Bush in a foot race. Can't get control, though. He goes down after a hard battle with Dennis. Slow to get up, but he does get up, and that's good for the Deacons, as now they also have possession here in the Cheyenne zone. And now it looks like Bush will go off again. That's the second time we've seen him go down a little awkward, and neither time has looked too severe.
Just smart coaching by the coaches. It's still early. You got a goal lead right now. There's 9:20 left on the clock and everything. Might be best just to take him out for now, let it cool down a little bit.
Absolutely, a little shaken up after that play went to the ground. No reason not to just pull him off and give him a breather. Quick throw in here from Dennis as the Mustangs try to work it out of their zone. We've seen them have to do this a lot in this game. They had been getting a little more pressure going, but the Deacons over the last few minutes were able to reverse roles and once again put the pedal to the metal and get some good offense going against Cheyenne. Mustangs volley back and forth at midfield. It's Dennis on the near side with a nice little ball over to Negron. Negron still has it. He, that time, I believe, was looking for Aberly, but it won't go. Or excuse me, that was Muhammad he was intending that pass for, as Noah, way up out of his defensive position, engaged in a little skirmish there with Kameu. Able to get a little chip shot off, but it did not amount to much. 8:20 now left in the first. Long ball over the head of Kramer will just be grabbed here by Malish.
An interesting play by the Shanley coaches, seeing him as they moved Luke Noah up to the midfield position, actually, with the substitution, and then sub somebody in for defense, considering maybe the coaches want a little more of that athletic power up front, being able to create something.
Absolutely, a good catch there, and so likely in response to taking Bush out, Bush and Noah, kind of a similarly modeled player. Noah really with the capability to play at any position on the field, whether that be defense, midfield, or offense. He can really do damage from any position, so the coach is just utilizing him where they need him right now.
Noah, also an all-state player last year, just very, very, very athletic and a very good player.
Impressive feat as a sophomore. Ball on the far side, a nice save from Dietz there, and now they have a look as Dietz was trying to find Anderson, but it was nicely intercepted by the Mustangs. That time it was Kameu in there to break it up. Odegaard now has it again for the Deacons. He finds Anderson. Anderson with a little no-looker back to Odegaard, but intercepted by Kameu once again. Cheyenne defense continues to hold strong, a real bend but do not break mentality. It has worked well aside from the one early goal. Kameu could not get to it that time. It was Anderson there for the Deacons, and he makes a full loop there, able to get back to the ball he originally sent over towards the opposite side of the field. Mickelson has it now for the Deacons, but that ball headed right back to him. Able to get it once again, looking for Hansen, but again the pass misses, and Magar slides forward to send that one out of bounds. However, I think it went off Mears, so Cheyenne going to have good field position. 6:22 on the clock. Again, 6:22 left here in the first half.
Your Mustangs, number 9, Patrick Smith.
Patrick Smith checking back in for the Mustangs. And Jordan Peterson back in for the Deacons. Deep throw in here from the Stangs. A lot of defenders there for Shanley, but Cheyenne able to come away with it. It's Dunar who has it as he sends one in on net just through the hands of Malish. And boy, you know what? I thought that one might be going in off of Malish's fingertips, but the angle is just a little too far to the left. Once again, though, Leonard Dunar has another great look that just doesn't quite make it in.
And that's been the thing. Well, that's the difference in this game so far. Shanley converted on one of their few opportunities to get a good shot on goal, and Cheyenne just hasn't been able to do that tonight.
Absolutely a good look in front of the net, but once again, Malish is there to snatch it up and keep that ball out of trouble. You know, we talked about Malish's trouble early on with some fumbles with that ball, but I think he has improved quite a bit as this game has gone on, likely getting out some of those nerves. Anderson sends that ball forward, handled nicely, though, by the Cheyenne defense. And now Fenelon will look to move it up as he just gives off to Smith. Muhammad going back that time to Steelgis. Steelgis looks upfield. It's a long ball across the field, I believe that time, intended for Negron, but defended nicely by the Deacons. It was Jorgen Dietz who broke it up. Fenelon with a great job to keep that ball out of his zone, but now Noah brings it forward. Luke Noah moving up. Smith able to keep it away, but not for long as the Deacons put the pressure back on. Smith going to go over to Dennis. Dennis on the near side looking for a man, and that time just appears to be a miscommunication. I think he was trying to do a little handoff to Negron, but it did not work. And now it will be Cody Malish's ball to kick away.
You know, as this first half approaches to end, you just got to wonder, will Cheyenne try to make a final push, you know, like put in a little extra attack or something when they feel they can confidently do that, and then be safe from counterattack from Shanley?
Well, yes, we'll see what they can do to try to get momentum on their side headed into the second half. You know, even if they don't get a goal, if they could just get a little pressure on Shanley, get some bounces to go their way, if you can carry some momentum from the first into the second, I think it'll be huge for your attitude in that second half. We'll see what they can do here, though, with 3:40 on the clock. Dennis going to go over to Smith. Smith through midfield finds Muhammad. Muhammad is stripped, though, by Hansen, and now here goes Miguel Hansen. Hansen with space, trying to go over to Anderson, but that ball off target and intercepted by Fenelon. Fenelon looking for a man. Goes back and forth off of a couple players. It was Smith and Bohm there for the Deacons. And now Cheyenne just trying to get this one out of trouble. It'll go out of bounds around the midfield mark. Quick throw into Odegaard. Odegaard goes down, took a little contact there from Magar, and that whistle will be against the Mustangs. So Shanley with an opportunity a little bit past midfield, right at the very edge of the Cheyenne zone. Mears with a long ball out in front of the net. Noah and Nellermo both there, but neither can get a whack at it. That'll bounce away and out of trouble for the Mustangs, at least in the short term, as Dietz gets to it, and he's going to try to put it right back in play. Dietz over to Nellermo. Nellermo taking pressure from behind. It's a nice play by Dennis, but he can't quite complete it. Did do a nice job, though, of getting it off to his defender. And Cheyenne looking good here, almost getting it out of their zone. The Deacons, though, able to keep the pressure on, not letting this ball escape. Bohm over to Nellermo. He whiffed on it, though, and Dennis finds it. Dennis trying to capitalize on the mistake there, but he is the one who puts it out of bounds, so the Deacons will get the throw-in. Jorgen Dietz will be the man to throw it in for Shanley. He looks just a quick ball over to Anderson. Anderson, a little bit of a mishandle, able to get back to it, though. Dietz now looking, finds Odegaard. Odegaard looking for a man. And he's going to have to circle back with no options there as we enter under 2 minutes to go here in the first half. 1:50 now reads the clock. Jordan Peterson on the far side, able to find Noah. Noah came in there to take that pass. Luke Noah putting the pressure on. Anderson sends one in on net just over the top. TJ Anderson with a tremendous look there generated by Luke Noah. And that was just about a beautiful goal there. They don't get the goal, but boy, the Luke Noah experiment on offense has been so far so good for Shanley.
He just provides that extra dimension, another person to be able to play off TJ Anderson, not allowing the Cheyenne defense to focus in on one person, allowing them to spread the attack out a little bit and therefore spread the defense out.
And that Shanley defense holding up pretty strong without Luke Noah back there, usually a stalwart of that defensive core. Jorgen Dietz able to keep that ball in, but it's nicely intercepted there by Negron. Negron tried to get back to it, but Mears cleared it up to Bohm. But we have a whistle against Shanley. Take that back. I think that ball actually just ended up out of bounds with a late call there. Nonetheless, a good opportunity here for Sheyenne. The Deacons, I think, wanted a handball maybe. Or maybe they were looking for offsides because they do get that call. So 32 seconds. Sheyenne looked like they were going to have another great look. Once again, though, a little mistake costs them another opportunity. That's the second time I think we've seen offsides take away a great look for Muhammad. Odegaard with it for Shanley, trying to find Noah. A great header, though, from Fenelon. Keeps it out of trouble. Peterson keeps the pressure on, gets it up to Anderson. Anderson looking for a man. Noah closing in, gets to it, trying to keep it in bounds. He will. Luke Noah putting the pressure on. 5 seconds left, a quick shot, but it'll go out of bounds. And the horn will sound to end the first half. So after 1 half of play, the Shanley Deacons lead the Sheyenne Mustangs 1-0. And Josh, how about that late half flurry from Shanley? They're just about adding to their lead.
And I have to attribute to that. First, it's getting late in the half. Defense gets a little bit more lax and everything, a little bit more tired. But Luke Noah playing upfield, being able to just create that disruption in the defense, very impressive.
Absolutely. We mentioned how it'd be good for Sheyenne if they could get some pressure late in the half to carry over into the second. They didn't quite get that. They had a couple looks. It's still a 1-goal game, though. Anything can happen. Should be a great finish to this one, so don't go anywhere, folks. A great second half of soccer is coming up. Good evening, folks, and welcome back to North Dakota High School boys soccer action. I'm Jed Thomas alongside Josh Johnson as we're getting ready for the second half of play here between the Shanley Deacons and the Sheyenne Mustangs. But before we get back to it, we would like to take a minute to remind you that Shanley TV is made possible in part by the Shanley Athletic Club and their generous members. Check out their website today at shanleyathletic.club.com to learn how your membership contributes to Shanley TV, the Deacon Den, and many other student-athlete needs. While you're there, be sure to renew your annual membership by clicking the Join Now button or become a member if you're not one already. It's easy to become a member and anyone can join, so sign up today. The Shanley Athletic Club, taking Deacon athletics to a higher level. All right, well, we're back to it here in the second half of play between the Shanley Deacons and the Sheyenne Mustangs. The Deacons hold a 1-0 edge. And Josh, headed into this last half of play, what do you think Sheyenne has to do to come back here and tie this game up?
I think Sheyenne just has to keep playing consistently. They've shown springs of burst, speed, all of it, shots, and, nothing's gone. But if they keep pushing at it, keep going, maybe get a little bit more consistent possession and everything, then hopefully they'll be able to get that goal and then propel their team and chances for a win.
Absolutely. Consistency was really the name of the game for them in that last half. They got pressure, they had bursts, but never consistently, and that was the difference between them and Shanley. You look on the scoreboard and the Deacons do hold a 1-0 edge, but it was a pretty even half of soccer. Like I said, the only big difference was Shanley sustained their pressure. Sheyenne just could not. And now look at this, a nice opportunity for the Mustangs early. But that is safely headed out of bounds by Luke Noah, who is back in his usual defensive position after a fairly successful stint on offense. And folks, real quick, we said earlier Luke Noah was a All-State player last year. He was not All-State, however, he was All-Tournament in the state tournament. So still a very impressive feat as a sophomore last season, especially on a team as talented as last year's Shanley Deacons. That not going to amount for much here for Sheyenne as it's bounced far out and away from the Deacon net. Still got some space to work with, though, as Smith puts the ball on net. However, it's easily corralled by Malish.
Positive signs from Sheyenne, though. They get the corner kick right at the start, get a couple shots on goal. That good way to start out your half.
Absolutely. And worth noting, Shanley now playing with the wind at their backs, Sheyenne playing into the wind. Not sure how much of an impact that will have as the wind appears to be dying down as the night goes on, but still, we'll see what that does to this game. So Noah does appear to be playing midfield right now as he launches one at the Sheyenne net that goes off the hands and into the face there briefly of Zachary Douglas, but he's able to make the save. And that is what matters. He's had a really solid game, save for that one goal against early on.
And Luke Noah, he's not afraid to take those shots from outside the box. He's got that leg, he's got that power, as we've obviously seen. And he's able to put it in from almost anywhere on his side of the field.
Absolutely, as Noah chips this ball up intended for Anderson. Anderson could not quite get to it in time, though, and the Mustangs try to move it out now. Rigg fires that one upfield. It's a great pass, and look at this, an opportunity now for Negron. Negron moving across the field. Pass has a little bit too much on it. Dunar able to catch up to it, though. Now working along the baseline, fires one towards the net, knocked down in front, and then shot away by Luke Noah. A great defensive play there after some nice pressure from Sheyenne.
Very much so, but then even so, Sheyenne, again, getting behind Shanley's defense, but very, very impressive in being able to get the ball in the middle. Very consistent signs from Sheyenne in their attack so far.
Absolutely. They're definitely showing some better presence on offense here in this second half. Hopefully, though, they can continue it throughout the whole half. Quick throw in here is knocked away by Owen Mears and then headed forward by Johnny Dietz. That ball grabbed by Kameu as the Sheyenne Mustangs try to move this out of their zone. Kick is headed away and kept out of trouble by the Deacon defense, however. Dietz trying to strip that one. He could not. And the Mustangs continue to put some pressure on here as Muhammad just about got away with that one, but was stopped short by the Deacon defense. Hansen tied up. Odegaard comes in to try to help him out. He can't, though, and Muhammad wins the battle and gets the ball over to Dennis. Dennis now able to find Negron. Negron goes up to Magar there. It's a scrum for that ball in the Shanley zone. The shot from Negron is knocked away by Mears, and now Odegaard will bring it upfield for the Deacons. Odegaard caught from behind there, and then Fenelon will play it forward, and that ball will roll out of bounds. 36-17 left to go here in the second half. Throw in from Dietz is a really nice and on the money there. Finds Odegaard perfectly. Odegaard, though, could not get it through the defense. It was a tremendous throw there from Dietz, who might want to consider another form of football with an arm like that. Hansen sends that one forward for Shanley. Peterson showing great speed there, chasing Fenelon down and gets to it. Jordan Peterson making things happen. He could not quite finish it off, though, with the pass. Hansen, though, able to keep it in play. Miguel Hansen brings it forward. He was knocked away by Fenelon. Peterson going to have to retreat and give the ball back to Dietz. Dietz and Peterson. It's Peterson who came away with it. He sent it back looking for someone, but no one home for Shanley. And now a whistle as Peterson went to the ground, and the Deacons will get possession. 35-20 left in the game here. Cheyenne started off with some good pressure. It's Shanley, though, who in the last few minutes has really been putting the gas on. Long kick towards the net. Falls just short of Anderson. Trying to keep it in play, though, there was Nellermo. Anderson and Odegaard tied up. Nellermo just about came away with it, but that ball too far away from him and then sent forward by the Mustang D. And now it's out of bounds off of Magar.
Cheyenne showing that their last line of defense has some toughness to them, being able to hold off Shanley like this in consistent possessions.
Absolutely. Mickelson's throw in just misses Noah. Anderson has it now, and he has it poked away. A strong defensive play once again by the Mustangs. Throw-in goes to Odegaard. Odegaard tied up with a man, making some moves, though. Odegaard coming forward with it, but it is nicely knocked away by the Mustangs. I think that was Muhammad who made the play. And now Magar with good speed chasing that ball down. It's Mears who got there, though, and ooh, Magar runs into Mears from behind. Looked to be incidental there as they just kind of got their legs tangled.
You hate to see that happen. Sometimes just unfortunate injuries get produced by plays like that. You know, it's not intentional by either player, just both going for the ball, but it happens.
Absolutely, and that time it really, I think, looked worse than it was as both players stay in the game after being on the ground for just a couple brief seconds. Noah tied up there with Dunar, and Dunar, we've mentioned his name quite a bit in this game. He's really done some good things with the ball, has not been able to finish with it, though, and that has been Cheyenne's story for this whole game. Rigg with a nice little pass, and he'll get the ball right back. Rigg showing off moves, but Joe Mickelson keeps the feet together and blocks it. Anderson had a look there, but the through ball from Dietz does not quite make it. Mustangs look to set up on the far side of the field. Joe Mickelson with the header. Mears trying to send it forward with a header of his own. It goes over the head of Luke Noah. Now Odegaard sends it forward, but out of reach of Anderson and into the arms of Douglas. 33 minutes exactly now on the clock as Douglas sends a high ball downfield. Falls at about the 45-yard line, and the Mustangs come away with it. Now an opportunity for Dunar. Dunar on the near side. Look at this, just about there. But Owen Mears catches up to him and closes off the angle. A great defensive play there from Mears. Dunar had time, had space, and right when he was loading up to shoot it, Mears got there and ended up saving what could have very well been a goal there.
Truly a theme of the story, Cheyenne not being able to finish at the net.
We'll see what happens, though, with 32 minutes left to go in this game. They seem to be getting closer and closer, at least in this half. They've been playing a lot better on offense. We'll see if they can finally get that one to go. Shanley, meanwhile, trying to add to their lead as Anderson sends a long ball in the direction of Dietz. That one, though, has too much behind it, and Fenelon directs it upfield, although it's intercepted by Peterson, who will put it on net, and Douglas makes a jump to grab it. That was close, but Douglas closes down on it. Magar trying to get to that one, battling Hansen. It's Miguel Hansen, though, who came away with it and then gives it over to Jorgen Dietz. Dietz finds Noah in his midfield position. Noah going to move up with it now. He's tied up with a man and has to give it off back to Johnny Dietz, who finds Odegaard. Odegaard has it. He goes over to Anderson. Anderson has an open Nellermo on his left side, but instead he'll weave into the middle with it, and that might work for him as that ball is narrowly saved by Douglas. Coming back to it, though, was Noah. He gets it over to Dietz. A nice header. Noah tried to get back to it. It's in the back of the net, but there was a whistle. And it looks to be no goal. And we'll see, can we get a replay on that one? A whistle before it went into the back of the net negates it. How about the header, though, from Johnny Dietz right on the money off the fingertips of Douglas? And I wonder if it's Luke Noah there. His presence kind of in the net. I'm not sure if that played a part in it. Perhaps an offsides. Our apologies, we're not quite sure. One thing we do know is the score is still 1-0, however, after a solid attack from the Deacons. Mustangs now going to try to put some pressure of their own on here, but Owen Mears is not going to make it easy as he sends it downfield, and TJ Anderson almost had a play at it, and he's not giving up on that play, though, as he goes down in pursuit of the ball. Anderson slow to get up, and now the Mustangs move this one forward. Long kick. Trying to reach Dunar. Dunar caught up with a couple men. Malish comes out, and that ball is just over Malish. And Nellermo has to send it out, but hold on. Cody Malish is down for the count right now. Holding the head area. Not sure what it is, though.
It's very, very unfortunate. Again, playing goalie is a dangerous position on the field, especially when you have to make runs at the ball like that. It's very possible that Malish got kicked in the head, somehow hit in the head, which I know he's dealt with problems with concussions before, so this, not good.
Hopefully, we don't like to speculate, though, just our first impression. Hopefully nothing too serious for Cody Malish's sake and for the sake of this Shanley team. And now we'll just wait and see as the Deacons trainer Kelly Burns heads out there to check things out. So 30 minutes and 16 seconds on the clock left in this game. It's a 1-0 lead for Shanley. Real back and forth game, I think, throughout most of it. But right now it seems to be a bit more, it was a pretty even first half, but right now it's kind of wild momentum swings for both teams. We've seen them both put a lot of pressure on in short bursts, and then that ball just finds its way to the other end of the field and almost into the other net. So, Josh, if you're Cheyenne here, down 1 goal, you're starting to get a bit more offensive pressure. How do you now turn that into one long, sustained attack on the Deacons other than these quick rushes?
We'll see. What I'm looking for is often with those quick rushes, it's a long pass and everything, and then they instantly try to go for the goal. They try to take the opportunity that they have right away. Oftentimes, when you get that long pass down the field, or something of that matter happens, if you wait just a little bit longer and are able to contain possession, and then your other players hustle down the field, there's often little openings that create even better shots for you that will make it all the better.
And some good news here is Cody Malish is up and walking off under his own power. He will not be in net, though, for the time being. It will be Cam Hoff who takes that spot instead. Malish had a pretty solid game up until this point, pitching a shutout here with 30 minutes to go. So Cam Hoff checks in. The good news for the Deacons, they've got a good situation going at goalie right now. Malish, as we've already seen, is a very solid option, but Cam Hoff has also started some games and has looked great in those as well. So unfortunate for the Deacons as Malish heads off here. Hopefully he's okay, but now Cam Hoff is going to check in. And good news for them, they've got a steady hand at backup. So Hoff in here trying to make this change as seamless as possible. Now we're just waiting for Hoff to check in and the teams to get set here. And so in comes Hoff now as you see him, well, maybe not in this angle, but Cam Hoff is running onto the field as Cheyenne's getting ready for the corner, and there he is. All right, so moving on now, getting back to the game. Hoff is in, and it's a corner kick for the Mustangs. So tough for a goalie coming in cold here to face a corner kick immediately. We'll see what the Mustangs do with it. They're in a good position. It's a low kick out in front, and Cheyenne unable to capitalize on that opportunity. That kick not going where they wanted. Smith put that one a little too far out in front, right to a couple Shanley players, and now Joe Mickelson has possession for the Deacons. Mickelson goes up to Odegaard, who goes over to Nellermo, who goes right back to Mickelson. Some nice tic-tac-toe passing there for the Deacons, but that's then interrupted and intercepted by Rigg. Smith makes a play on it, able to get that ball up to Rigg. Rigg finds Dunar, a great pass. Dunar, though, running out of real estate, and it's Owen Mears in there to break it up once again. That's the second time we've seen him foil Dunar on a good look from that angle. Smith finds this ball as Cheyenne continues to pressure, but it's poked forward by Mickelson. It finds its way to Odegaard, who goes over to Mears, and now on the near side to Nellermo. Nellermo up to Odegaard. Odegaard looking. He goes to Anderson. Anderson waits patiently, looking for a man. Had it poked away, though, by Rigg. Rigg going to get it back now from his defender. He'll give off over to Smith. Smith looks for a man up the middle, just going to charge forward himself, and now he's got a look. A breakaway up the middle. Hoff going to come out. Makes the save. No, it's in the back of the net. And a response from Cheyenne with 29 minutes to go. They get the goal and tie things up. Not sure who got it. It was not McGar. He had the initial shot. Finishing it off, though, was Sam Kramer, you see on that replay. So, folks, we got a tie game. But wait, that goal is called off.
It looks like the side judge is talking with the head referee right now.
Maybe a potential offsides? Not sure what it is. But the Mustangs will not have that goal. And that is absolutely huge for Cheyenne here, as that was a big momentum changer. Caught Hoff there coming in cold, in his first couple minutes of action here. A bungled play there for the Deacons we thought turned into the tying goal, but it is waved off. And so now both teams with goals here, or apparent goals that were waved off. Shanley had that one earlier off the header from Dietz that did not count, and now this one from Kramer will not count either. So a tough break for Cheyenne, as that big kick intended for Anderson is headed forward nicely by Aberly. And Josh, as the Mustangs here, you thought you had that game tire. You thought you had all the momentum going your way. To have that goal called back, how much does that kind of deflate your momentum here?
If you take it the right way, it doesn't deflate your momentum at all. Because all that's showing is that the Shanley defense is vulnerable. As you see right now, the rush for the ball, you can see the Cheyenne players, they are fired up. They're going. They wanted that goal, and it was taken away from them. And so now they're going to keep pushing even harder to make sure that they get it.
Absolutely. As you were speaking, we saw Cheyenne put the pressure right back on Shanley, responding really well to a tough situation, having that goal called off. And now that ball goes out of bounds off of Shanley, and Mustangs are going to get another good look here. Quick throw in now goes to Smith. Smith trying to get that one off over to Rigg. Rigg has it intercepted, though, by Odegaard. Odegaard in a 1-on-3 with Rigg coming from behind has to give it off to Anderson. Anderson circles back. He gives over to Nellermo. Nellermo now has a little space, but it's running out quickly. Nellermo caught up on the out-of-bounds line, and then he has it stripped and taken away. Anderson just going to have to poke it out of bounds for the Deacons. Some nice play there from Leonard Dunar. Like we've said, called his name a lot, doing good things, and that time Dunar just about escaped up the sideline with it, but Anderson was able to poke it out. Caden Aberly will throw in with 26:50 left on the clock. Aberly's throw bounces in front of McGar and is then headed forward by Dietz. Dietz over to Anderson. Anderson made a good move, and now Dietz has it. It was a good look there for the Deacons, and the call will go against the Mustangs. Anderson was caught up in a pretty physical battle there with Rigg, and that time it was Rigg who got the whistle. So Shanley going to have a good look.
Shanley has had a lot of success on free kicks this game. Obviously, they got their goal off of it, but a lot of other looks very close to being goals have come off free kicks.
So it'll be Luke Noah to kick this one away. As you said earlier, Josh, he can score from anywhere, and it wouldn't shock me if he maybe put one in from right there. As that ball is just tipped forward, you can see the frustration. I believe that was Johnny Dietz who did the good job, the good hustle to get over there and put a foot on it, but it was just to the right of the net.
Even still, a very impressive setup and opportunity for Shanley to up their lead.
Absolutely. Noah making things happen there, and Dietz just about finishing it off for him. But Cheyenne holds strong, keeps it a 1-goal game. Odegaard tried to take that one away from Rigg. Rigg going to switch field now and give it over to his defender. Long pass. It's Mickelson in there battling with Dunar for it, and Mickelson wins that battle in the short term, able to kick it away, but we'll see what the Mustangs can do now. Going to get a throw-in.
Mickelson just letting his defense get back, set up, calm it down a little bit.
Smart play from the junior. Caden Aberly with the quick throw-in. Mickelson couldn't quite get there that time, but Hansen was there for cleanup duty, and now Nellermo has it for the Deacons. Nellermo looking for a man up the near sideline. No one there. Instead, it's Aberly. Aberly directs it to the middle of the field. Peterson just misses it. An opportunity now. Clashing with it, it's Dietz and Kameu, and that time the battle is won by the Deacons. Mustangs, however, are able to keep the pressure on briefly as that ball rolls out of bounds and will be turned over to the Deacons. 24:45 remaining in this second half. It's a 1-0 game, despite goals called off for the Mustangs and the Deacons. And boy, it could very easily be a much higher score here, even without those 2 goals that were called off. Both teams have had really good looks on offense here in the second half. Odegaard directs that ball upfield, looking for Anderson. A little bit of space. Anderson goes back, has some room now. TJ Anderson moving in. Caught up by the defender, though. A great play from Fenelon. Just outstanding defense there from the senior defender, Sean Fenelon, to strip Anderson of that ball and take away a great opportunity.
And that's just having your teammates back right there. You know, your teammate slips and falls. Anderson gets right past and everything, but, you know, he steps up and he makes the play and helps Cheyenne not be in a worse position.
Yeah, Sean Fenelon really showing that he's that last line of defense there before that ball makes it to the goalkeeper. Does a good job in a bad situation. Dietz tied up with that ball. It's Anderson trying to make the play at it now off of the pass from Dietz, and now Mickelson going to head it forward to try to keep it in play. Odegaard takes it off the chest, looking for a man. He's got Jorgen Dietz, but instead he'll take it himself. Odegaard on the near side as Nellermo. Nellermo across the field, a beautiful feed over to Anderson, but not a lot of space to work with. Anderson going to go over to Odegaard. Odegaard showing off some moves. Deacons putting on the pressure here. Odegaard in a bit of trouble on the near side. Got to do something with it. Bouncing around, circling, and now Anderson has it for Shanley. TJ Anderson just going to fire one on net, and it's easily grabbed by Douglas. Still a nice job nonetheless by Anderson to get a shot off there.
You know, Shanley was holding it close down by the goal there for a while, but Cheyenne being tough on defense, not allowing anybody to get a solid shot off.
So the Deacons look to reapply that pressure here. Cheyenne, however, doing a nice job of holding the ball at midfield. 3 Cheyenne defenders back there, but will that be enough with Dietz closing in? Jorgen Dietz showing some good closing speed as Fenelon is forced to play it up the sideline and out of bounds. Peterson going to look to capitalize quick there, trying to find Dietz on the throw, and it will not get there, and it will be scooped up by Douglas. Douglas boots this one away. It's a low kick that bounces in front of Bohm, and now it's played by Noah at midfield. Noah bringing it forward. Luke Noah making things happen. Gets it over to Anderson. Anderson just going to fire a long-range ball into the back of the net. What a goal from TJ Anderson. Are you kidding me? What a snipe. Anderson, not much to do, so he says, why not shoot it? And, oh, boy, what a scorcher into the back of the net.
And TJ Anderson, he has been waiting for that all game. He has been waiting for his shot, for his opportunity. And even if he wasn't going to get an opportunity, he says, you know what, I'm going to make one. And make one did he, and he scored.
Absolutely. You know what, Josh? You shoot enough shots, and eventually one's going to find its way into the back of the net. That's exactly what happens there for TJ Anderson.
You know, Jed, that's just how I live my life, you know?
Just taking shots left and right. All right.
Eventually one will score.
So the Mustangs looking to respond here, down 2-0 with 22 minutes left on the clock. And now if you're Cheyenne, you go from a 1-goal game that was very easy to get back into just a couple minutes ago to now a 2-goal deficit with 21 minutes left on the clock. And, you know, Josh, how much bigger does that 2-goal lead feel than that 1-goal lead?
You know, for Shanley, it feels not that different, to be honest. You know, a lead is a lead, and unless you're talking 3 or more, it's it's probably about the same, but for Sheyenne, the weight of the pressure can really get on you. You know, you've had these opportunities, you've had these chances, and then Shanley scores again. This one feels a lot more different for Sheyenne than it does for Shanley.
Absolutely, that clock seems to tick even faster now with 2 goals on the board instead of 1. 21 minutes, so plenty of time here to do something. But you're going to want to get a goal here. You know, I'd say if you could get one in the next 10 minutes, you'd be in a lot better position. We'll see what Sheyenne can do here. Like I said, a lot of time. But still, it's a 2-goal lead now. Luke Noah fires this one. It takes a nice curve out in front of the net, and Anderson just could not quite track it. He was a little bit in front of it. And so Anderson with an opportunity to get his second of the night, just a little off target in tracking that ball.
You gotta wonder, how often does Noah practice that kick? Because that's the second time in this game that he's been able to kick it from that spot and then put it in the same exact spot right next to the goal.
Absolutely. Luke Noah has really shown a lot of versatility in tonight's game. Overall, had a great game from a couple of different positions he's been playing. Nice defensive play here from Johnny Dietz, able to strip that ball away from McGarr. Mustangs trying to continue this pressure here, hold the ball in the zone. They're able to have some success, but it's limited as that ball rolls out of bounds. And they'll say it's off the Deacons. Quick throw in, looking for McGarr. Dietz, though, uses his height there to head it away. Now the Deacons just look to clear as Mears has it. Mears going up to Anderson. T.J. Anderson, fresh off that beauty of a goal, looking for someone to give that ball off to. He's got Nellermo, but it's a nice defensive play instead from Dunar, who takes it away and circles back to transition to offense. Dunar gets past Anderson, trying to get past Mickelson. Mickelson made a nice play there. The little slide tackle ends up putting the ball out of bounds. Had that ball stayed in, though, there's no telling where Dunar would have ended up. So, solid defensive play there from Joe Mickelson. Aberle on the throw-in. It's near side to Dunar, and that ball will roll out off of Sheyenne, so a tough break here for the Mustangs. They were moving that ball down the field, and now it'll be a Shanley ball.
Often in this situation with a lead of 2 goals, the team with the lead can often feel a little bit lax in their defense and in their attacking. And Shanley has to keep pushing and keep playing strict defense to make sure that they don't let Sheyenne break in.
Absolutely. Shanley does not want to let up here. It is a 2-goal lead, but you can look at that from a couple of different ways. For Sheyenne, you're thinking, oh boy, it's a 2-goal lead. And for Shanley, they're thinking, oh, it's only a 2-goal lead. So they got to stay sharp here because a 2-goal lead can become a tie game in no time. T.J. Anderson showing off that speed now. He's got a man on him, though. It's Aberle trying to use some moves to escape. Aberle sticking with him, though. Anderson finds a little bit of space looking for a man. He had Reinholtz there, but the ball's a little too far in front and to the side of Evan Reinholtz. Ball played back, I believe intended for Bohm, but now the Mustangs are going to have a crack at it, moving it upfield. Rigg could not quite get that ball past Noah, though, and now it's loose at midfield. Scrum for it. A wash right now as that ball goes out of bounds, and they'll say it's off of Sheyenne. Deacons now will have an opportunity to advance this ball upfield. It's Mears who will kick it for the Deacons. Owen Mears has had a real solid game on defense a couple of times. We've seen him make some good plays that have potentially saved some goals, especially against Leonard Dunar, and that's no easy task. That ball over the head of Bush, loose in front of the net, headed forward by the Mustang defense, and Bush could not quite get back to it. Sheyenne, once again, averting disaster there in front of their own net. Dunar has space, and he's got speed. He advances with it. He and Mickelson have been battling here in the later stages of the second half. Dunar in trouble now with Noah on top of him as well, and Noah just rides Dunar out of bounds. But I think I'm not sure if they're going to get Luke Noah for a penalty here. That might be the case. Or perhaps they're just saying the ball was out off of Noah. Nonetheless, he didn't seem to love the call as he has a quick conference here with the referee. Sheyenne, though, going to have a nice opportunity. It'll be Sean Fenelon who will kick this one away.
Just a shorter free kick. You almost have to wonder. They practice corner kicks all the time. This one just being a little bit shorter might throw it off.
And that might be the case, Josh, as Fenelon's ball was pretty far over there, so some nice analysis there, perhaps just in the mindset of a regular corner and not that shorter almost type of corner kick he just took. 16:25 on the clock. The Deacons maintain that 2-goal lead as the ball finds its way up to Johnny Dietz. Nice physical defense there from Sean Fenelon, and now it's over to Smith. Smith trying to cross midfield. A nice little through ball. Had too much on it, though, as he was looking for Dunar. It'll be scooped up by Hoff. 16:05 on the clock now. Hoff with a nice strong kick here, and that'll fall at about the 42-yard line, and the Deacons are going to try to break this one out. A header intended for Anderson as Fenelon sends Anderson down, and TJ Anderson hit the ground hard there, but looks to be that it just appeared worse than it actually was. And they are going to give Fenelon a yellow card there. So Sean Fenelon, who had been having a really strong second half here for Cheyenne, is going to have to sit. He's made a couple of good plays, and that'll be a tough loss for them, the senior defender. And that was a close call there. You know, some tough contact. It looked like Fenelon caught Anderson with his arm there and kind of twirled him in midair. Just kind of an awkward play. You can see the case for the yellow. You can see the case for saying it's a bit more incidental. It's been a pretty physical game, though. Shanley's got the one yellow, and now the Mustangs have one as well.
And just to remember, all these things are happening while the players are running at full speed. Everything just looks way worse than it is when you're running at full speed.
Absolutely, real-time decisions have to be made down there, and like you said, Josh, at very fast speeds. It's a little pooch kick over to Dietz, and Dietz whiffs on it. A tough break, as I believe that play had a lot of the Mustang defense fooled. It certainly had me fooled. So Dietz definitely wanting that one back as the Mustangs bring it down into the Shanley zone, but a great clear there from Luke Noah will get them out of trouble, at least for now. Mustangs going to try to advance here once again. A little bit of space. They've got numbers now moving into the offensive zone. It's loose in front, and again, it's Joe Mickelson there to play that ball out of bounds.
That's been the 5th or 6th time that the Shanley defense has just poked the ball away at the last second to make sure that Cheyenne doesn't have a good shot. You know, eventually you have to wonder, are they going to be able to keep doing this for the last 15 minutes of this game?
Absolutely. Perhaps want to try to tighten that defense up a bit here. So far, though, it has definitely seemed like Shanley can handle it, especially with Luke Noah playing midfield. Guys like Joe Mickelson have really stepped in well. I don't know how many times we've seen him punch a ball away at the last second, or how many times we've seen him strip Dunar on this side of the field. So Shanley defense holding up strong in the absence of Noah as Max Bush is showing some crazy speed chasing that ball down. Bush with physical play and speed. Now with space, he fires, and it's grabbed by Douglas. And wow, what a play, though, from Max Bush. Just sheer will to get to that ball and get the shot off. And unfortunately for him, just does not quite find its way into the back of the net. But still a very impressive play from Bush.
Mm-hmm. Bush getting a lot of rest time this game, and you know, when he comes in, he's going to want to be doing something, and you just saw that there. You saw that fresh energy that he was just coming off of, just wanting to be able to score that goal.
Mustangs, again, just trying to get something going on offense. They've had a couple of looks. They could really use something here, though. Preferably before that 10-minute mark. If they could maybe get one in the back of the net, that would be huge for their confidence. We'll see what they can do, though, as Bush puts this one out of bounds. 13:35 on the clock now, and it will be a goalie kick for Cheyenne as the Deacons make some substitutions here. TJ Anderson heads to the bench, and Miguel Hansen checks in.
You know, if you're Cheyenne, you're starting to think, you know, what do I have to do to at least put one goal on the board? Because it's getting late enough in the game where you have to wonder, do I have enough time to score 2 goals quick? Obviously, anything can happen. But with only 13 minutes left on the board and a 2-goal deficit, Cheyenne has to be thinking, and their coaches too, what can we do to change this game and to put the ball in the net?
Absolutely. You know, a big theme of the game that we've discussed has been putting the pressure on Shanley, not just in those short bursts, but for longer periods of time. And now you're starting to get to the point in the game where that long, sustained pressure in the offensive zone is eating up a little too much clock. And so right now, if you're Sheyenne, I think you're just kind of trying to keep getting those rushes in on Shanley, try to get the odd man rush in there, and just hope it works out because they've had so many good looks. You have to imagine they can at least put one in the back of the net here, given enough opportunities. That ball headed up in the air by Bush and grabbed by Douglas as the Deacons continue to keep this ball in the Cheyenne zone.
And Shanley, their defense has been tight and everything, and they've had a couple of close calls. But their defense has been best when their offense has been working best. The old motto, the best defense is a good offense and everything, and Shanley is truly employing that right now. Sheyenne isn't going to be able to do anything as long as Shanley has the ball and is shooting at their goal.
Absolutely. They're doing a good job of playing keep away here from the Mustangs, and it's eating clock and working as of yet. Or working so far, I suppose. And now Odegaard with a great open look here, and the late whistle. And that one hurts for Shanley. Odegaard had a beautiful look, and he is whistled, I believe, for being offsides there, Josh. So tough break for the Deacons. Now Hansen working intently on Negron there, and Hansen able to take it away. A great defensive play there from the senior Miguel Hansen. That pass from Odegaard is tipped, and then that shot just goes out of bounds from Bush. And folks, real quick, we want to remind you once again that Shanley TV is made possible in part by the Shanley Athletic Club and their generous members. Check out their website today at shanleyathletic.club.com to learn how your membership contributes to Shanley TV, the Deacon Den, and many other student-athlete needs. While you're there, be sure to renew your annual membership by clicking the Join Now button or become a member if you're not one already. It's easy to become a member, and anyone can join. So sign up today, the Shanley Athletic Club, taking Deacon Athletics to a higher level. Again, folks, really encourage you to give to the Shanley Athletic Club. If it weren't for them, we would not be able to do what we do. Just such a huge part of our operation and really all the athletics at the school. So really be sure to check out the Shanley Athletic Club, doing great things for us and for everyone here at Shanley. So 10-10 on the clock as Luke Noah sends this one way downfield. Perhaps Nellermo had a look, but the bounce is grabbed by Douglas. Douglas has let 2 goals in, but for the most part, Josh, I'd say he's played a very solid game here.
Very much so. Both of the goals, one was just a snipe by TJ Anderson, and then the other one was off a free kick. Both of which, as a goalie, you're always the last line of defense, but responsibility was lessened a great amount on both of those goals.
Absolutely, as you see that kick go way out of bounds there. Sheyenne just trying to take some shots right now. I believe that time it came from Dunar, and just too much leg behind that. If you're Sheyenne, you got to play with some desperation. There's no doubt about it. Any coach will tell you a little desperation in your game in any sport is a good thing. However, the Mustangs really can't get too desperate here. They can't start to play sloppy and just kind of take any shot they get. Not to say that's what they were doing there, but it is something to watch here as this game winds down with just 9 minutes left. So desperation, but in moderation if you're Sheyenne.
Very much so.
Deacons putting the pressure on here. It's Mears bringing that ball up, and we've really seen Shanley shuffle their lineup around quite a bit. We've got Max Bush playing some offense here. Owen Mears getting up in the offensive action as well. We've already talked a lot about Luke Noah playing out of position, and the Deacons shuffling their lineups, and it seems to be working quite well right now.
Also, the Deacons subbed Emmett Kenny in, a younger guy and everything, but unless I'm wrong, he hasn't played all game, and he's going to be able to give the Deacons a fresh burst of energy to be able to finish out this game.
Yeah, Josh, I do believe you're correct. This is Emmett Kenny's first action in this game, and that can absolutely be beneficial to get a fresh set of legs out on the field here late in the game. And a good opportunity for Sheyenne is just a little out of reach there for Rigg. He'll wheel it around, though, and the Mustangs had another look, but it is cleared away nicely by the Shanley defense. Good job by Rigg there, able to keep the pressure on, but it once again just does not quite work out in favor of West Fargo. Long kick here, once again in the vicinity of Rigg. Can he get to it, though? He's tied up with Mickelson. Mickelson takes it away, although that's put right back into his zone. Flurry of attacks here from Sheyenne, but nothing amounting to too much. And now that ball is brought in. Nice footwork from Negron, but cannot penetrate the Deacon D. Mears working, trying to take that one away. It's Jordan Peterson, though, who ends up punching it out. Again, the Mustangs with the pressure. Rigg chasing it down. And once again, just too far. We've seen almost the same play on loop a little bit here, but now a nice feed in front is whiffed. Another shot splits the uprights too high. And Sheyenne really turning up the heat here. That was Dennis who went down trying to make the play at it. The Mustangs have had a couple of really good opportunities, but they just cannot get one in the back of the net. And that's been the story of the game.
And that was by far one of the best opportunities that they've seen, one of the cleanest shots in front of the net that they have gotten all game. Sheyenne players got to be wondering, when are we going to be able to put something in?
Absolutely. And now we see TJ Anderson checking back in here. He took a little bit of a rest, and now they will put him in to try to close this game out now with 6:34 on the clock. Hoff's kick headed forward by Dennis. Fight for the ball there, won that time by Mickelson. Mears has it, not for long though, as Dennis comes in and takes it away, but they'll get Dennis there with the whistle. They'll say he pushed Mears to the ground. And so another unfortunate break there for Sheyenne, as Shanley is going to get possession here and eat up some more clock.
Noah again taking the free kick, just the official free kick man for Shanley. Let's see what he does with it.
Nice ball here from Noah looking for Odegaard, but it is too short. We've seen a lot of good work from Luke Noah on the free kicks and just a lot of good work in general from him in this game as Odegaard fires one that goes off the back of Kameu that time. Still loose out in front. Odegaard trying to find Kenny there. Kenny could not get a clean shot off, though, and now that ball is brought back out. TJ Anderson there to corral it, though, for the Deacons. Anderson going to the far corner, finds Bush. Bush tried to get it under control, but that'll roll back towards midfield, and now we have a whistle as there's a man down for Sheyenne in the goalie box. And I'm not sure who that is down there, what the number was. You see Zachary Douglas talking to his teammate, though, trying to see what's wrong. And now, once again, Kelly Burns will come out. And I believe that is Melvin Dennis down there for Sheyenne. And that would be very unfortunate as he has been a key contributor for Sheyenne this evening. So hopefully he is all right.
I didn't see what happened on that play, Jed.
Neither did I, Josh. I think it happened behind the action. I think it kind of happened once that ball was taken out of the offensive zone. Kenny had that look there and couldn't quite get the shot off. And I think at some point when Kenny was in there trying to get that shot, Dennis went down. But now we see him up on his own power, flexing that leg a little bit, just trying to walk off whatever it is, and hopefully it is something he can just walk off, because like we said, Melvin Dennis, just a sophomore, but a huge contributor for the Sheyenne team.
And late in this game, or late in games like this, hits hurt just that much more. You're tired, your body's tired, cramps start to happen and everything, and it's hard to push through at the end of this game and everything. Hopefully, Sheyenne can keep going.
Absolutely. Always tough to see a leader like Dennis have to check out here in the late stages of a tough game. So now we'll see 5:23 on the clock. It is going to take something big here from the Mustangs to get themselves back in it. It's going to have to be a quick goal and then another one right after that. We know they're capable. It's a 0 on the scoreboard right now, but they already had one goal waved off, and they've had a whole bunch of other opportunities that could have very easily been goals. So Sheyenne right now, I guess you just got to keep doing what you've been doing. Hopefully one ends up in the back of the net. Unfortunately for the Stangs, tonight just kind of seems to be one of those nights where you just can't get it in. Ball picked up by Douglas. He's going to move here with a purpose, trying to get this ball downfield fast as he can. Showing some patience, though, waiting for his teammates to get set. No use in kicking that ball off unless you've got a shot to get possession. And they had it for a minute, but it was poked away, and now Odegaard has the ball for the Deacons. Odegaard goes to Bush on the far side. Bush with a great pass over to Kenny. Kenny going to settle it down. He'll survey his options. He just goes over to Odegaard. Odegaard weaving in and out, looking for a man. It's headed away, though. That time Odegaard was trying to find Max Bush. Mears does a good job keeping it in the offensive zone, and now Dietz will send it over to Bush. Bush wheeling around, gets it to Odegaard. Odegaard tied up with a man. He goes over to Kenny. Kenny tried to make a move, but it's deflected, and now the header from Bush will be grabbed by Douglas.
All during that possession, Shanley eating time up.
Absolutely. You know, you play good offense. It's like you said, Josh, offense is the best defense, and right now Shanley is just playing great offense. They don't really have to worry about the ball being in their zone right now, although Sheyenne is definitely going to try to make that happen here with some physical play on the far side. So that ball goes out of play and is now grabbed by the Deacons. Anderson has it for Shanley. He wheels around looking for a man, retreats into his own zone, playing that keep-away game, just burning some clock. Luke Noah sends it upfield. That's sent right back, though, with a nice little kick from Fenelon. Now at midfield, it's Anderson who has it. TJ Anderson gives over to Bush. Bush with a little chip, looking for a man on the far side. I believe that's Peterson. Peterson doubles back, looks, not a lot of space. He wheels around, has to give it off to Anderson. Anderson in midfield over to Hansen. I'm sorry, I think that was actually Noah. And now it's TJ Anderson who has it for the Deacons. And now that ball's taken away by Magar. Magar looking for a man. He's able to find Rigg. Rigg now going to give it off. And look at this, an opportunity for the Mustangs. The late goal. It's not over till it's over. The goal from Negron makes it a 2-1 game. Get a look at this replay. Negron has space, just kind of a lapse here from the Shanley defense. All of a sudden, Josh, a one-score game with 3 minutes to go.
And, you know, for Cheyenne, this is an instant motivator, an instant boost of energy. Expect them to attack even harder. But for the Shanley team, you got to wonder, how are they going to respond? Are they going to get a renewed sense of energy and push even harder? Or are they going to fall back?
And, you know, Josh, it's interesting because you see the Deacons even moved Luke Noah back to defense. They really seem to be in that kind of almost victory formation type of look, if you will, for soccer. They had a strong defense back there. We're just kind of trying to run this clock out. And Sheyenne says, no way. They put that ball in. They got their first goal of the game here as that shot goes off the post. Odegaard trying to make it a 2-goal game once again. In tight. It's off the side of the net. But what effort there from Odegaard. Wasi Odegaard just about made it a 3-1 game.
Shanley trying to show, well, Cheyenne, you want to score points, we're going to come right back at you. Not able to convert, though.
Now it will be a corner kick here for the Deacons with time running down. 2:21 on the clock. Cheyenne, of course, having just scored their first goal of the game here, making it a 1-goal game. Peterson right in front of the net, the header off the crossbar, and oh, you can see the disappointment in Bush's face. It was a beautiful play that just didn't quite get there. Now a rush coming for the Mustangs. 2 defenders back there for Shanley. But it's a good look here for Cheyenne. Mickelson able to poke it away, and Noah finally puts it out of bounds to get the Deacons out of trouble.
A dangerous opportunity for Shanley. Cheyenne making the most of the counterattack off the corner kick.
Sam Kramer with some great speed being shown there. Noah caught up with Kramer, gets it over to Mickelson. Mickelson going to send it upfield, and a great defensive play from Joe Mickelson. Not only does he send it downfield, but he keeps it inbounds, and that is huge because that eats a lot of clock here for Shanley. Mustangs trying to get this ball upfield as fast as possible. TJ Anderson, though, does a great job putting pressure on and forcing him to withdraw. Max Bush going to rush that ball, keeping Cheyenne honest, making them make fast decisions here. Ball sent upfield, finds Kramer. Kramer looking to go forward with it, could not quite get the ball over to Smith. Kramer has it once again. He goes over to Smith. Now there's some space on the near side. Smith puts one out in front. There, though, to head it away was Dietz. Hoff was going to try to grab it, but Dietz was there to head it away, and now we have under a minute left, just 52 seconds. Mustangs having their best play of this whole game, really, but now they send it out of bounds, and they're going to have to try to regain possession quick with 43 seconds on the clock. Odegaard almost had a goal about a minute ago. This time, though, can't quite get the same look, and the ball goes out of bounds.
Just 30 seconds now. Cheyenne maybe has enough time to get one more shot on goal, if that. but Shanley looks like it's taking its time with this corner kick right here. Doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Absolutely, it would have to be a very fast play, and now the Mustangs just come down here to try to keep Shanley honest, and that ball just about went out of bounds. Odegaard, though, going to keep possession, and now we've got a whistle, and I wonder if they will catch the Deacons putting that ball out of bounds. It's going to have to be a very fast, very strong kick here from Douglas. Just 3 seconds left, and there is not enough time. That's it. Shanley comes away with the win, but they do have to fight for it in the later stages of the game. Shanley clings to that 2-1 lead and is just able to ride out the storm from Sheyenne because, boy, the Mustangs really put the pressure on there late in the game. And Josh, you know, your thoughts here to finish things up. Cheyenne obviously comes close but falls just short. What's the difference maker for the Deacons at the end of the day?
At the end of the day, it was a hard-fought physical game. Shanley just a little bit more consistent in their offensive pursuit, just a little bit better of opportunities, and with that, able to make the necessary goals to win. Sheyenne had the opportunities, just wasn't able to capitalize.
And, you know, Josh, headed forward into the season, any thoughts for these two teams' expectations here?
You know, they both showed Cheyenne had great offensive bursts during the game and everything, and also solid defense. Shanley, a little more consistent with the attack and everything. I would look on both of them to build that, both of them to definitely improve their defense throughout the season and tighten up those holes.
All right, well, it should be fun to watch going forward in this season. For tonight, though, for Josh Johnson and for our entire crew, I'm Jed Thomas. Your final score from Fargo, Shanley Deacons 2, Sheyenne Mustangs 1. To watch the archived version of this entire game and our other broadcasts, go to ShanleyTV.com. The proceeding has been a presentation of Shanley TV.